Okay, so my kids are sleeping. I actually intended on coming to the park with them, but they both fell asleep, so it's like divine timing that I brought my camera. Anyways, so I thought I'd make my first video about how to harmonize your home and how to live in a harmonious environment, which I feel like really helps like every aspect of your life, really, especially when you're a mom, because the cleaning is like endless. Okay, so like when you get organized, it makes your life so much easier, you know. And the very first step of that is decluttering, you know, because I don't know, for me personally, it creates a lot of anxiety when there's like a lot of stuff everywhere, especially stuff that's just like junk or has no meaning or value, you know, which happens easily when you have kids. Because you buy them stuff at the store and it's crazy. I don't know, it just adds up so quickly. But I'm finding that the less stuff we have, the more easily life flows, you know. I don't know, I just feel like minimalism is very important for our household, and the more I organize our stuff and keep my kids' stuff organized, they behave better too. So it's totally it's crazy. I really think there's something to feng shui for sure. I don't know much about it honestly, but anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. But creating a harmonious home is the topic I wanted to talk about today. And I think that really comes down to getting rid of everything that doesn't have any value for you. You know, how many of us hold on to clothes that are just we haven't worn in 3 years, but we have a thought, we're oh, maybe we'll wear them one day, but you never do, you know, that kind of stuff. It adds up and it creates a sense of stuckness in the energy of your house, I feel like. And when you start clearing out the rooms and the cabinets and making things organized to where when you want to do an activity or a certain thing, you can go to a space and get exactly what you need, and you're not rummaging through all this stuff, which obviously creates anxiety. And I've done that with my clothes so far. I've done that with my art room, because that thing gets dirty crazy fast. And I've been doing it with my kids' stuff. That's a new thing for me, because I would just keep all their stuff, you know, because I'm oh, maybe one day they'll use it or whatever. But like I said, I'm finding that they're able to focus more, especially my daughter. I keep all her art stuff organized in little containers inside of a shelving unit, you know. And she actually will sit down and do art and just be occupied for however long, instead of just before she would look at this little box of stuff with a whole bunch of stuff, it's art supplies, but it was all messy, you know. And she wouldn't want anything to do with it. And I totally understand that. I get that. I see that because I'm the same way. And yeah, so I don't know, it really, sometimes it takes a lot of time to get rid of all the stuff that you have, because, I don't know, I think it's human nature to want to hold on to things, especially that they had meaning once, or you have a memory attached to it, or something item of clothing. But it really does free up the energy, when you just get rid of that stuff, because you're creating new space for, clarity, I guess, as kooky as that probably sounds. Maybe not, I don't really care, but I just know it works for me. And I've been going through all my clothes and getting rid of the clothes that I just know I won't ever wear. And it's just crazy when you walk into a room, you can get a feeling and an energy, you can sense the energy, and it's it's not being reciprocated to you, but it definitely affects your psyche, you know. It affects how you're operating day-to-day life. And I'm not a clean freak. I don't have OCD or anything, thankfully, because that can be really difficult for some people to manage. But I just find that keeping your space clear and free of junk, free of stuff that you just have no purpose for, is very, very powerful. And I'm really big into creating sacred spaces, and I really like to have where I work in my kitchen, I have a little altar type thing just because it makes me feel good to be around like things that look nice when you look at them. You know, it's like that feeling you get when you look at your sink full of dishes and you're just like, oh, you know, it's the same principle like when you're like anywhere in your house, I feel like. So I mean, it's a constant thing. Like I always have to like reorganize it and clean it up because just life in general is messy, especially with kids. But it's worth it. Like, I have an altar space pretty much everywhere in my house, especially where I work, where I do my art. And I don't know, it's just simple little basic things like that can be so transformative. And like, for me, I'm just learning as I go. I mean, I look back at pictures of my old rooms and oh my god, it is embarrassing. I have like everything up on the walls, like covered, and like clothes hanging out of the drawers, and it's just like, I don't even know how I function like that. Which is funny because I'm very much an artist and I'm very eclectic and I like colorful things and stuff, but I don't know if it's something about being a mom or just getting older or learning more or attaining more wisdom, I hope. That I don't need all that stuff everywhere, you know? Like, I get rid of stuff like easily, and I used to be like, you know, have such a weird attachment to things, but which I still do some things, you know, like I really love my crystals. So, but yeah, and another topic I get asked about a lot when it comes to motherhood and parenting and like how I work from home, is like, how do you get your kids involved in art and not lose your mind because they're messy? And first thing I would recommend is, I guess it depends on what kind of paint you're doing, because you can always do watercolor. That's really easy and mess-free, relatively mess-free. And you can go outside and do art, you know, like outside, so the mess isn't really an issue, you know, on the grass or whatever. But what was I gonna say? Oh, Home Depot makes these like drop cloths, but it's like plastic on one side and then material on the other side, and they're only like $5 for like a pretty long one. So I get a whole bunch of them and I just cut them to the size I need and put them on the floor, and it's like you can pour paint on it and it doesn't ever get messy, so it's amazing. And yeah, so, but I think I'm gonna do another video on just that topic, because I mean, I would like to show you guys more of like what I do, especially when he was younger. I used like a bumpo seat, and then he graduated into something else, and there's always a way, is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope I recorded it. I don't know if it's even recording. This is like the first time I ever used this camera, so but yeah, thanks for watching. And if you guys want to comment below on like a new topic you'd like for me to address, I have a whole bunch listed or written down. So anyways, okay.